top5rapwebsite.com. You already know what's going on. Another Friday live stream. So many of you have pointed out, like, yo, wasn't she supposed to live stream last Friday? I'm sorry if y'all were waiting 7 p.m. Some of you guys live on the East Coast. It was 10 p.m. Some of y'all live elsewhere. You may have been waiting on the stream. I thank you, appreciate it. But I do want to reiterate that I rarely ever stream on holidays. Last Friday was the 4th of July. This is an American holiday. That's why there was no stream. I'll try to leave a post either on X or on the YouTube community page when I do not live stream. But yeah, regularly every Friday, 7 p.m. California time. So thank y'all for those who are waiting. We do apologize. And on the days that I don't stream, I do try to at least put out a video. So if there's a Friday where I don't stream, I put out a video. We are running about 10 minutes late this Friday, but any time is on time, right? I just came back from the gym. So yeah, I had to go to the gym. So I had to, get that going. And yeah, my blood sugar's feeling a little weird. I'm so fucking hungry right now. I'm so hungry right now. So I might be eating mid live stream just to get the blood sugars levels back and all that good jazz. So anyway, that's coming up soon. What we have today is the Clipse interview on The Breakfast Club. It just dropped, I think, this morning. Yeah, probably about 6, 7 a.m. this morning. I think it's going to be really interesting. I've seen a couple clips, a couple clips, no pun intended. I've seen a couple clips of the interview, but I haven't watched the entire thing. So we'll be watching this whole thing together. I'll say this a couple times during the live stream because I know the copyright thing is like they have it out for me. But if the stream drops mid while we're watching the interview, that's because the Breakfast Club don't want me reacting to it, right? So if the stream drops, we'll be right back. Just come right back. We'll watch something else. We're going to get a Friday live stream off today. It doesn't matter, especially because we didn't do one last week. So anyway, before we get into the Clipse video, please don't pass that live. Shout out to Jen. Oh, Jen, I saw you completed Cyberpunk. I saw that you was playing it on when I was looking at PlayStation. So yeah, Cyberpunk, great game, right? It's a great game. I think they drop in the next season. They drop in the next series to the anime, like coming up soon. So they're gonna have season 2. Yeah, please eat something. Yeah, my assistant is making me a sandwich as we speak. So hopefully that's coming up soon. But yeah, before we get into the Clipse interview, just some housekeeping. New videos on the channel. How many videos I dropped this week? 1, 2, about 6. All right. And we coming up on 1,000 videos. So probably in like 3 months, I'll be at 1,000 videos. That's a lot of videos, man. So I'll probably do something special for the 1,000th video. Maybe like a question and answer, or I don't know. I got to think of something to do. So anyway, yeah, I got my Clipse album review out. I got my Malice FICO verse breakdown. A lot of people did not like that I guess listened to the leak because I posted this video before the album came out. The album obviously leaked. This is the first time I ever seen in hip hop, like ever, where people were upset about people listening to leaks. I've never seen that. And I've been here, many years. Like, I wonder what y'all would do in the barbershop. For those who are super mad about the leak, what would you do, when the dude in the barbershop comes through with the bootleg albums? He's selling the bootleg DVDs and albums. What would y'all do? Yo, you buying that? You gonna throw hands with the people buying the leaks, buying the bootlegs? This is crazy. But yeah, it was a fire verse, regardless. So anyways, there's something else I wanted to say. You need a Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Yeah, I actually do need a Snickers. I need something like raisins or something. Yeah, probably because they haven't dropped since 2009. It's a great interview. We'll be watching. Oh yeah, we about to get to the interview. But there is one thing I want to get to real quick that I saw on social media, which you guys know, I don't really have a real issue with the artists, like the rappers and stuff. It'd be the fans I'd be having issues with. And I seen something that here it is right here. I seen something that was just pretty disgusting. And the amount of support it got is also disgusting. So this guy right here, he's a journalist. He works for Pitchfork. He reviewed the Clipse album. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Pitchfork. Pitchfork Clipse review, right? Let's pull this up so we have context. If the page will load, let's hit refresh. There we go. So he reviewed the Clipse album. Alfonso Pierre, this is him, right? And let's just confirm that because I actually haven't confirmed that. Senior writer at Pitchfork, born and raised in New York. No picture, but he gave it a 6.5 regardless. And then you have a guy, I don't know what they're trying to do. They're trying to dox him. They're trying to make fun of how he looks because he gave the Clipse album a 6.5. Now, I don't agree with his rating. I would give the Clipse album a much higher rating. But what is it with this? Like, we trying to like what's the angle here? We gonna make fun of this guy for how he looks because you disagree about an album review? Like, is that what we doing? This the same man who gave Sexy Red a 7.5 and said she was pushing female rap in a new positive direction. And I do think this is also cowardly too, because he's not necessarily saying, oh, we need to make fun of this guy, or I want to dox this guy, or whatever. He's just posting a picture, but obviously the intent is for people to attack this man, right? Obviously the intent is there, but he doesn't explicitly say it, so he can always fall back on, oh, I didn't tell anybody to say anything about the guy. All I did was post this picture. So it's also cowardly because if you want to call the dude a nerd or something for how he dresses, then you should have just did that, and then there will be like less cowardice involved in that. Okay, I think my assistant is bringing me a sandwich right now. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, oh, some raisins too. Okay, nice. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, my blood sugar is crazy right now. So I'm gonna be eating this during the reaction. Hold on. So yeah, anyway, I think it's, yeah, excuse the smacking. But yeah, I do think it's cowardly in multiple ways. Because you're not necessarily saying that you think the guy looks nerdy or he looks corny, or you're not necessarily saying, yo, let's dox him, because you want to be able plausible deniability. If you disagree with the guy's album review, rebuttal the points that he made in the album review. Don't attack him personally. And then it's the amount of support that this guy also, almost 300,000 views, 400 or 500 retweets, 2.3 thousand likes. What's wrong with people, man? This is the same guy who ranked Ice Spice high too. I don't have an issue with y'all. And when I mean y'all, I'm not talking to my chat. I'm talking to these people. And we're going to read the chat in a second. I don't have an issue with you being like, yo, this dude is crazy for saying this. Clipse album was fire. You tripping? That's fine. But it's comments like these. Yo, I just know he went to a PWI. Like, what? PWI is a predominantly white college. Because the nigga's sitting here eating a Subway sandwich? Because he gave the Sexy Red album a higher rating than the Clipse album, you know he went to a PWI. What are we talking about? What's his Twitter so I can block him? Okay. Here's a reasonable comment. That's not fair because I look like him. I gave it a 7.5. Well, your rating is only 1 point higher than his, buddy. So yeah, I think this type of behavior is so common in the hip hop community now. And stuff like this, I honestly think it's spillover from the Kendrick and Drake stuff. I do think it's spillover. There's like this cultist tribalist thing that has taken over, you know, the underground, more underground hip hop scene. And I felt it when I reviewed a song off of a leaked album. The reason why people had an issue with me reviewing this verse, right? Because never in hip hop ever has the audience had an issue with listening to leaks. Yo, alleged, everything I'm about to say is allegedly. During the blog era, like 09, 2012, 09 through 2012, that little time period, nobody, bro, leaks was so prevalent You cannot say you didn't listen to leaks. Yo, people not only used to listen to leaks, people used to build entire websites, and the whole purpose of the website is to post the leak because it drives massive traffic to your website. People would burn the leaked music onto CDs and then sell them at school. I'm not saying I did this. I'm saying people did it. And then people would review the leaked album. Like the idea that like niggas is acting like the feds. I can't believe you reviewed the leaked album, supporting the leak. It's not actually the leak they have an issue with. It's this tribalist mentality that's prevalent here. People, in the way I see it, because I'm also like a little tone deaf. I'm not in these super fan base wars, type of communications. But someone keyed me into it. One of my listeners keyed me into it. It's like the people who listen to the leak, they listen to it just to shit on the Clipse album. So if you listened to the leak, you were seen as supporting the leak. Therefore, you're anti-Clipse, which is stupid because if you're listening to the leak, it's because you are anticipating the Clipse album, right? But the way the tribal, people, and all that, the way they handle it is if you listen to the leak, that means you're anti-Clipse. Kendrick is on the Clipse. This sounds so stupid, but it's true. That means you're anti-Clipse. And because Kendrick is on the Clipse album, and Kendrick and Pusha T both diss Drake, that means you're anti-Kendrick. So the people who listen to the leak are pro-Drake, and you're anti-Kendrick. This is how stupid this is. And if you didn't listen to the leak, it's like, oh, not so you're on the side of the culture. Yeah, this type of stuff is disgusting, man. I can't wait until like a new music genre becomes more popular than hip hop. That way, all these people can go support that because these are just trend riders, bandwagon hoppers. It's really annoying, actually. We're gonna read the chat. The main consumers of hip hop are PWI. Facts. That's true.
Facts.
He probably ain't a fan of lyrical rap. If he gave artists like Ice Spice, Glorilla high scores, Glorilla is actually fire. Glorilla last album, Glorilla got some heat. I'm not gonna lie to you. He gave Sexy Red a 7.5 or something. I mean, that's fine. See, people, and the thing with Pitchfork, people are too focused on the score. And this is how it's always been with Pitchfork, even like back in 2012, 2013. People be pissed at the score. They rarely ever, like, look at all this album review. My man's wrote like a short novel, short essay. People are more concerned about the score, and it's like this with Anthony Fantano too. People just jump right to the end of his video to see the score. They don't go into the actual meat, pause, and substance of what he was saying. So people are not going to rebuttal why he thinks this is 6.5. They just going to look at the score and be like, this is everything else is BS, basically. It doesn't matter what you say because you gave it a 6.5. But this is how it's always been with Pitchfork. Not just this author, not just this journalist, Pitchfork, period. What up, toppers? Yeah, I think we're the top ops now, right? I think toppers is a little sus. I think we're the top ops now. Someone came up with that name. Where we at in the chat? Bro, it's on hip hop conspiracy theories. Yeah. This has nothing to do with Drake and Kendrick. Social media has amplified tribalism. See politics of today compared to yesteryear. Yeah, I don't think it's just Drake and Kendrick, and I agree with you. It's not just hip hop. But since the Drake and Kendrick thing, this type of tribalism has become way more prevalent in hip hop, way more prevalent. To be fair, there was a legion of saboteurs that listen and share leaks to stump on an artist's album. That's not how it's always been, though. Like in hip hop, the past 15 years, we didn't listen to and share leaks to stump on an artist's album. We listened to and shared leaks because we were anticipating the album. Like it was seen as like a blessing, low key. Like, yo, the whole album leaked, non-censored version, CD quality. It was a blessing. It wasn't seen like, oh, you about to stump on you're stumping on his rollout. I don't care. Yo, that's up to the corporations. The label needs to go figure that out. It's not my responsibility to be like, I'm not gonna listen to this because the artists and the first week sales. That's the label's issue, man. That doesn't have nothing to do with me. So yeah, I'm not a topper of the content though. Yeah, we top ops. You know what I mean? So anyway, I didn't want to comment on this real quick because the amount of people who are supporting this type of thing. It's one thing for this guy to say it and just to be an anomaly, but the amount of people who support this, like Haircut tells you everything you need to know about this man, like to clown the dude or to judge the guy because you don't agree with his album review, just fucking retarded. It is fucking retarded. Facts.
Facts.
So anyway, we gonna get into this Clipse album review, or not the album review. We gonna get into this Clipse interview if I can find it. Let me see. Clipse Breakfast Club interview. So how many of y'all have watched this already? Hope y'all out there thriving, making it shake. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Make sure y'all hit the gym. Make sure y'all eating right. You know what I mean? Here it is right here. Boom. So again, if the video, if my stream just drops midstream, it's because copyright, Breakfast Club, they don't want me reacting to this yet. This is just copyright thing. So if the stream drops midstream, we gonna be right back. Just come right back to the channel. We just gonna watch something else. But until then, let's get right into it. I'm gonna put this at like 1.25 speed.
The Breakfast Club.
1.25. There we go.
Morning, everybody. It's the
And I'm about to eat too, so hold on.
Larry, Charlamagne the guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
The legendary.
The Clipse. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up?
How y'all
Is
feeling?
it the Clipse or is it
It's
Clipse?
just Clipse.
Is it
Clipse?
Okay, because I say
Yeah.
the Clipse too.
Nah, it's just Clipse.
Okay,
just
cool.
Clipse?
You call that shot.
So it's just Clipse.
What's the order?
So I was watching a interview on Vlad TV with Malice. The reason why the Clipse are called the Clipse is because they were going to call their group Full of Clipse at first. But Fat Joe already had a group or something named Full of Clipse. So they didn't want to step on that. Like full of clips, full of like magazines, guns, I would assume. So they just call it the Clipse instead.
Origins of the name for people who don't know.
So that came from.
Oh, they're about to. I swear to God, I haven't seen this yet. So they're about to explain it. I was just watching that Vlad TV interview yesterday, and Malice explained it. But I guess they're going to get right into it right here.
Full of Clipse.
Yeah.
I came up with it, and at the time, Fat Joe had the Full
Yeah.
of Clipse crew, so we just shortened it to Clipse.
Okay.
Now, I want to go back, right? Because you guys
This is
haven't been here a
2000.
long time.
Yeah.
For a long time. So I want to start from the history. Of course, I know you guys for a long time. So what got you into rapping and to form the group, the Clipse, for people that don't know?
Always been a fan of hip hop like anybody else, you know.
Well, I think they're really lucky also because they always had like Clipse. They knew they were already big in their city, in their state, like in Virginia Beach. So they were very early on, they were tapped in with Timbaland. Then eventually got tapped in with Pharrell. So the Clipse have been very blessed to always have really good producers. You just look at Pusha T alone. He came in the game with Pharrell. They knew Timbaland. He got Kanye West later. I mean, you got the Neptunes, Chad Hugo. They've been always blessed with really good producers.
My older brother was into the whole cardboard box, break dancing, boom box, rapping when you had to push play and record and rap directly into the box.
Absolutely.
And yeah, man, just coming up under that. And we went to Chad's house one time, and Pusha, he wrote his first rap, and Pharrell was like, y'all should, be a group. His first rap was incredible, but before
His first rap, I think, was A Thief in the Night. Pusha T's first rap. I only know all this because I literally just watched No Malice's interview on Vlad TV yesterday. That's the only reason I know all this. I don't think they work with any underground producer. Yeah. And in that Malice interview on Vlad TV, Malice mentions how they never had to go through the whole rapper struggle of struggling to get on and all this. Malice mentions like they got on like within a year. So yeah, they never had to go through this whole, struggle or putting out mixtapes and all that. So yeah, you're right about that. I seen the long interview, forgot the channel, but it was a month or two before this album. Yeah. Kendrick versus Drake. Yeah, we off the Kendrick Drake thing.
that, it was just me rapping over there.
Now, when y'all first met Chad and Pharrell, right?
Yep.
Y'all are totally opposite. So how did y'all even meet and even learn each other? Because growing up in
well, they live- yeah, they
Virginia,
live
it's
there.
Totally two different sides. So what made y'all even say, let's connect with these guys who were wearing tight shirts at the time and tight.
Is Jen still in the chat? Jen, how far is Norfolk, Virginia from Virginia Beach?
Pants that look like skateboarders that look nothing like y'all
They
at
might
the
have been
time.
serving them.
No,
No, they
man.
were serving them. So what made y'all say, you know what, let's link with them and start this whole
So
rap thing?
actually, so I was a DJ, DJ Alex in Virginia Beach, lived down the street from me, and we went out and we rented a drum machine, and we got the drum machine, but we couldn't work it, and we had to turn it back in soon. We had paid for it, but we was gonna have to turn it back in before we even had a chance to use it. And he was like, let's take it to my homie's house, and we went over there, and it happened to be Chad, and he knew how to work it.
And the Clipse album, it doesn't it's a great album, but even in the production, you can feel the beats are cool, right? They're fun. And there's some beats that I really like on the Clipse album, but it isn't the same without Chad Hugo. It's not the same without the Neptunes. As good as Pharrell is, it ain't the same without Chad.
That's just stuff that we was doing before Clipse.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Yeah.
So when did y'all take it serious? When did you say, you know what, this rap thing is something I'm gonna take serious. I'm gonna get off the streets and say this is what it is.
I'd have to say that was in meeting Pharrell. In meeting Pharrell, and it was Pharrell. It was the Teddy Riley coming to Virginia.
Yeah.
We began to see that it was a real thing.
And the thing I love I would prefer when rappers tell these stories, because they say certain things that are huge, but they just kind of say it real quick, kind of gloss over it. Or like, oh yeah, we met Pharrell and da-da-da-da. Nigga, how did you meet Pharrell? How did you go from slanging dope to meeting Pharrell? Like, explain that part though.
That music was actually attainable in arm's reach. I mean, we seeing the cars, we seeing the Ferraris, we seeing Michael Jackson in Virginia Beach. We're seeing MCs, Hove, everybody was coming down. And then at the same time, we had Timbaland and Missy. They was doing their thing. They were they had left home and went to Jersey and was working with Jodeci. But these are all our childhood, high school friends. So we got to see it from a lot of different angles that music was possible.
Why Virginia don't get the
Dude back here look like Rory from Rory and Maul. I'm just saying.
credit for being a hip hop hotbed or just a black music hotbed?
Not just music. You remember Allen Iverson from that area, Michael Vick's from that area. Like it's so much in that area that people forget
Absolutely.
about.
I'm
Chris Brown.
just focusing on the music because you got regions and states that get that love, but y'all don't seem to.
Well, I think
Not having Jay on that album hurt. Maybe I'm greedy. Hove on POV would have been epic. I was actually a little bit. The features on the Clipse album, the rap features, I was a little bit let down. Like Nas, we love Nas. We love new Nas verses, but Nas's verse just felt kind of phoned in. The Kendrick verse was kind of just it's cool, but it wasn't like it's not going on my greatest hits for Kendrick. So Tyler did really well with his verse though. Tyler had a great verse on POV. So I actually don't know if I would want more features on that Clipse album.
I think it's because I think a lot of people everybody who's made it in Virginia actually had to leave Virginia to make it. I don't think any one particular artist of any of us, none of us broke in Virginia. So we always broke, like Clipse broke in Philly.
Buddy do got Rory hair. Yeah.
Everybody broke somewhere.
Yeah, this man is Rory. He looked like Kid Cudi too right here. Got the Kid Cudi haircut.
So I think
And Clipse broke in Philly. I never heard that
man.
one.
Oh no,
Yeah,
definitely.
Clipse broke in Philly, man.
Really?
Shout out Cosmic Kev.
Wow.
Yeah. Clipse broke in Philly.
I didn't know what record was it. The Funeral or
Grinding.
Grinding? Okay.
Yeah,
Got you,
Grinding
got you,
broke in
got you.
Philly.
Got you.
Now, do you remember the
Yeah, I could see Philly cats really loving that Grinding song. And I was listening to Grinding last night. I don't know why I was just listening to a bunch of old Clipse interviews and songs last night. But Grinding is such a simple beat. It's such a simple beat, but it's a banger. So that just goes to show, like, you can have it doesn't got to be complex for it to be fire. Like Kendrick verse was great. The leak just ruined it. Hearing it out of surprise would have been great. I just wasn't crazy over the Kendrick verse. I think it was a good verse, but it wasn't worth all the hoopla surrounding it. Ab Liva was good. Yeah, Ab Liva had a good verse.
when Pharrell gave you that beat for Grinding? I remember the first time I heard it. It was confusing.
Yeah.
It was confusing. I was confused. So when he first gave it, how did you know that was the
You probably
record?
got the CD that
I
I was
did.
handing out.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I
was
believe you
confused.
did. You know, when we heard it first, we was like, you know, we were. It kind of took us back because you got to think at that time Pharrell was singing on every hook. It was whether it was Mystical and whoever.
Yeah,
right?
Mystical.
So, you know, this is our
Busta
first joint.
Rhymes.
He like, yo, this the one. And we like, nigga, we want you singing. Like, sing. You better tap or do something. And, you know, he was like, nah, I'm telling you, this is the future. This is what it is. And he was right.
And it was confusing because we actually wrote to it twice.
3 times. I think I got 3 joints on that joint.
Literally everything they're saying, Malice already said in the Vlad TV interview. I feel like I've already seen this interview before.
I still can't blend it to this day because I don't know where the beat and the snare go at the same time to
Wow.
actually blend on it.
Yeah.
You just gotta go.
That's
There's no blend with
crazy.
it.
So in the Vlad interview, Malice said that first he didn't believe in the beat. Like Pharrell had to convince him to get on grinding. And that's the Clip's biggest song. Pharrell had to convince him like, nah, this is it. And then Malice, he was saying that he doesn't know where to get, like the beat was hard for him to rap on. He doesn't kind of know where to come in. And when he performs it live, he's not sure when he's not sure when his verse starts. He finds the grinding beat very difficult to rap over.
Yeah,
That's crazy for you to say that.
yeah, to this day.
I mean,
Maybe if the interviews didn't tie it back to Drake and we just heard that on the album, would have been crazy. I just don't think it's that great of a Kendrick verse. I think it's a good verse, but it's not like Kendrick. I don't know. Kendrick's verse and Nas's verse, it didn't, more so Nas's verse, it didn't seem like they put that much into it. Like they just did it real quick and just handed it off. Whereas Tyler's features on the Clipse album sound like Tyler really took it serious. He really got in a Clipse mode. Like you could tell he really wanted to be on this album because he kind of catered his verse to the song, to the rappers he's rapping with. Nas for sure didn't do that. And then Kendrick, I don't know, I just could have done with, like the Kendrick verse, it doesn't make or break the song for me. The Chains and Whips song, it doesn't make or break it. It's kind of just there. Nori said the same about Super Thug, yeah. Verse is dope, nothing could have lived up to that hype. The New York Times interview they just did was the best one of this rollout. Yeah, I saw that New York Times one, or I think I read it actually. Yeah, Dot has dozens of verses better than that. I agree.
not the greatest DJ. Y'all know that.
Especially the stuff Kendrick has been releasing the past year. That Clipse verse is kind of just, I don't know. It's not bad. I don't want y'all to think that I think it's bad. It's just not noteworthy. They got all they text, man. Yo, you better close your iMessages, bro. Like, what the heck?
Envy up there. Envy up there.
Who's that, Jess Hilarious?
Envy, rocking that.
Yo, someone's gonna zoom in on this and then get all the tea. You better close your laptop, get a privacy screen.
He was smoking that shit.
Thanks, y'all, man.
You know, on the album Malice, you said you've been both Mason Bethers.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
People who don't know what that line means, expound on it.
Yeah, I just feel like I understood and walked a similar path like Mace, you know, to be in this industry and then to have a real live revelation of God and who he is, you know, and then have to navigate your way.
Yeah.
As far as
I'm interested to hear what Mace has to say about this. Because, you know, Mace has the sports podcast with Cameron. So you already know he's going to talk about this.
navigating, not so much because I knew that I had to chill, take a step back. And I also want to give you y'all flowers too, because y'all was still messing with me during that time. You let me come in here and, you know, promote the documentary and, you know, my solo projects and everything. So yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I feel like I understand seeing a lot of the same things that Mace seen.
I brought that up because, you know, that,
And I mentioned this in my album review. When Mace came back from his whole religious stint, you got to remember, Mace came out with Diddy. Bad Boy. And then he kind of took a break. He had to like turn religious. I don't know what he experienced. I don't even know if Mace has ever talked about this. But he takes his whole hiatus during his career. He goes and becomes a pastor. And he comes back, the Welcome Back record. And then eventually he joins G Unit. And he's back to Murder Mace after going religious. So I don't think Mace ever... Like the way Malice does it, he comes back rapping, and he mentions this on the intro to the Clipse album, where he's talking about his dad and how his dad passed. And his dad gave him, before he passed, I guess, he gave Malice his blessing. Like, you should return to rap. You should continue rapping, basically. So his dad gave him his blessing to come back to the rap game. But it seems like Malice, he takes his learnings from the religious hiatus that he took and he puts it in his music. So he's kind of like trying to enlighten us a little bit. Whereas I don't think Mace ever did that.
But
They actually called me Mason in the club. We was in a club in DC,
What?
and they was like, "We got Pusha T and Mason." And I was like, "Damn."
What?
Damn. What?
How
But you ain't been
feel?
around for a while though.
Yeah,
I
no,
get
I'm
it.
cool with it all. Yeah, I'm cool with it all.
I mean, that's why I brought it up because that's what ultimately caused the Clipse to, end for that the last
Period of
15
time.
years.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what got y'all back? What was the call that said?
Yeah, definitely hit the like button. Shout out Courtney and hit that like button. Nas needed to be Escobar for the verse, but I don't think he liked doing that talk. I don't. Oh, that would have been crazy if we got some Esco, Nas Esco. But I don't think he needs to be Esco, like do the drug talk. I just think he needs to not freestyle. It's not like he freestyled his verse. I just think he needs to not freestyle and spend a couple hours on the verse. You know what I mean?
I want to do this again.
There were a few baby steps.
Don't just one take it.
I'm gonna say going out to Wyoming and working on Use This Gospel with Ye, with my brother. I always knew that we could do it, but I just knew I needed a sit down period. You know what I'm saying? And what else did we do? We did Push's album, I Pray For You.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did the Nego album.
The Nego album, Punch Bowl. Yeah. So
Those were things I could ask for that I knew weren't, just solid no's. And man, from there it was just like, what we gonna do?
Well, what was the exact moment though? Because y'all were on two completely different life paths. So what was the exact moment that said, okay, it's time to do another album?
Okay,
good question.
So I'll say this. When
Money?
we were doing
When the money's
Use This
right?
Gospel and Punch Bowl and Push's album and whatever, I had asked my dad. I was like, what do you think about me rapping again? And he said, son,
Boom, here we go. I swear to y'all, I have not seen this interview. I'm just going based off what I heard on the album and the Vlad TV interview. And I'm done eating, by the way. So you guys don't have to hear me chew anymore. But yeah, there is a moment on that intro to the Clipse album where Malice explains, his dad's Pusha T starts the verse, I think talking about his mom's passing. Or maybe that was the other song, All Things Considered. But then Malice's verse, he's talking about his dad. And yeah, his dad gives Malice his blessing, like, yo, it's okay. Return to the rap game.
Use This Gospel and Punch Bowl and Push's album and whatever. I had asked my dad. I was like, what do you think about me rapping again? And he said, son, I think you've been too hard on yourself. And my dad's a deacon, like he was a deacon.
I didn't know that.
So to hear him say that, I am like, word, that's how you feel, like
You
And,
just answered one of my questions. I was going to ask you about that because you talk about that on Birds Don't Sing.
right.
And I just thought
Yeah.
that was such a
Yeah, the
powerful
intro.
thing,
Yep.
just to explain, like, yo, you was going through his, dresser drawer, seeing his notes, but then y'all had
Right.
conversations about
Yeah, and his dad's all of his that's a great verse. Actually, I might do a video on Malice's verse on that intro because he's talking about his dad and how he's going through. I guess his dad had passed, and then he's going through his dad's room post death, and he's like finding little notes and things. And people like old people, they write their passwords down. Maybe young people do it too, but they write their passwords down. And his dad's passwords to all of his accounts are some variation of I love my sons. I love my sons too. I love my sons, exclamation point. So that is just a really poignant part of the album. I love that Malice verse on that intro. Now I said on We Major, I heard this beat and ain't know what to write. Yeah, that's how he sounds on the Clipse album. Well, Nas's verse on We Major was actually fire. But yeah, Nas definitely, he didn't know what to talk about. I think Nas is just in such a good position. He's so comfortable that, yeah, his verses ain't always gonna come out hungry. Nas has some great albums the past 3-4 years with Hit Boy. But even with Hit Boy, some of those albums wasn't as good as the other ones. Like the first Magic album was way better than like King's Disease 2 or like, you know what I mean? Really wasn't expecting something like that out the gate. Ish made me tear up. Yeah. I might do a separate video because I did a video on Pusha T's verse on All Things Considered. I haven't put it out yet. And that Pusha T kind of gets vulnerable on there. But I think I should do a video on that intro because that's a beautiful song.
Yeah. We just everything was the way
The
it
favorite
lined
verse of
up,
the year, yeah.
It told the whole story, and it let me know that God is intentional. These things don't just be happening to us the way we think. God is very gracious, and He sets you up. He knows what you can take. He knows how much to put on you. He knows the order in which to put things in for you. So I just know that He's in control all the time. And the conversations with that record, Pusha talking to my mom and me talking to
So that first verse was about their mother, and then Pusha T on All Things Considered, he talks about his mom again, but then he also talks about V had a miscarriage. Obviously, we all know who V is, thanks to Drake. Like, we know Pusha T's wife's name thanks to Drake, Virginia. If you heard the what was it? Duppy freestyle? Yeah, Drake comes and just name drops Pusha T's wife. I'm gonna let it ring on you like Virginia Williams. But yeah, Pusha T on that All Things Considered, he talks about how she had a miscarriage and a lot of stuff. It wasn't just coke raps. They had a couple brief moments where they snapped into some real personal stuff.
Dad, and being able to document those last conversations, even those conversations, was a type of preparation, getting you ready for what was about to take place. So, like, I'm cool with it all.
Well, condolences first and foremost.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When I was in Vegas, I was with family members of yours, and what I like to do is pull them to the side and just have conversations. I knew y'all was coming up for an interview, and
Trying to get tea.
yeah, of course. And one of them was like,
Pusha T.
now we were talking about the album. This is before I heard the album, and he was like, yo, the best thing about it, he was like, I had their mom in the car, and he was like, the greatest thing that ever happened is the two boys are back together rapping.
Mm.
So how was that feeling of knowing that mom was just super duper happy that
It's
her
Kenny.
two sons were back rapping?
Man, that was always a big thing. For me as a soloist, she would always be like,
I want you with him.
yeah, I want your brother with you. I want him back out there with you. Probably just
And Pusha T, I mean, he had a great solo career. All things considered, considering the fact that Pusha T came out in a duo, he came out with the Clipse, and Pusha T was not the standout person on the Clipse. Malice was the standout. Malice was more polished, especially like in the early 2000s. Pusha T is like 5 years younger than Malice. So yeah, Malice was a lot more polished. So for Malice to then leave the group, go do religion and leave music completely, and Pusha T having to salvage a solo career after having been in a duo the entire time, that's not easy to do. Luckily, Pusha T, like, they have great connections. They're connected with Pharrell. They're connected with the Neptunes. They're connected with Kanye. What they did was not easy.
look over me, watch over me.
Yeah, Nas is fire.
That was always her thing. She was huge on like us just being together.
How did y'all know y'all had to start the album with a dedication to your parents? Like,
It was felt right.
Because it was the hardest record to make.
wow.
Like, it was the hardest record to make.
I
So
felt that one the most on that album.
yeah, so finally, like when we cracked that code, we were putting the order in, and we was like, man, nah, this
Yeah,
has to.
that was a good
start.
intro.
Like, this has to start the album.
Yeah.
It was polarizing. The response,
And I think even the title of the song, Birds Don't Sing, considering how much the Clipse rap about cocaine and bricks, aka birds, even the title of the song could be like seen as a double entendre. Birds don't sing.
in the creation of it, man. Everybody who heard it, and there were people in
Go
there,
do
like,
religion is
we
crazy
recorded-
wording. Yeah, I mean that respectfully, obviously.
recorded it in the LV headquarters. So it's a room and it's it's open. The mics are like this. Ain't no booth. You record like this.
Mm.
You look outside. You look through that window right there, and it's not a window. It's just an open space. Somebody with sewing machines. Somebody with bags, shoes, whatever. And while we're doing this in real time, everybody's in tears.
Why
Like,
did they
everybody
record it
just,
there?
They're watching it. By the time we finish it, it's like just like any other record. It's like, man, we cracked the code on it. Like we're
I hope they
satisfied.
recorded that.
But
That would be a
it
dope
was
thing to
just
put in
so
like a
hard
little
to do.
documentary.
and everybody's always like, everybody want to put their hardest record first, and I'm like, nah, man, this is the hardest record, and I want to see how it like really.
Malice is the better rapper. Pusha's better all time. I would argue top 40 or 30. Yeah, Pusha T definitely ranks higher. Malice is easily, I won't say easily, but Malice is the better rapper. I would say on every Clipse album, Malice is better than Pusha T. It just feels like he has more substance. I said this in my review. But yeah, what makes Pusha T rank higher than Malice is because Pusha T has a solo career. Pusha T has dropped, what was that? What was that album with I think called King Push or something? Daytona. He's written for Kanye, New God Flow. Like Pusha T has a Runaway. He's had all these little separate moments as a solo artist. So yeah, he's not better than Malice, but he definitely ranks higher. For sure, top 40, 50. Daytona is a classic. My Name Is My Name was the name of the album. It's Almost Dry. I thought that was a little forgettable.
really touches people. you know, from the jump, and then get into everything else.
Did that change you? Because you know, you talk about on the record of where you were and the things that you should have been doing that you weren't doing.
Yeah,
And then I seen a shift a couple of years with you when you had your son.
yeah.
Like everything is about your son, and
Yeah.
and you are.
And he mentions his son on the album, Nigel. That was on the song All Things Considered. Pusha T mentions Nigel and how his son, Nigel, wanted a sibling. Like he's telling his parents, y'all want a sibling. And then Pusha T and his wife, I guess they do it. And then they try to give him a sibling, but then she has a miscarriage. So he talks about that on the album.
You show up more than anything else, and that wasn't you beforehand. So did that?
I think the malice over Push Talk is overstated. On this album, it's less apparent. But when you go listen to Hell Hath No Fury and Lord Willin', even Till the Casket Drops, or the We Got It For Cheap mixtapes, for me, it's always been very obvious that Malice is better, especially when you listen to Hell Hath No Fury. That's where Malice just sounds way more polished. But Malice definitely shows level on this album a couple times. He's had the best verse here. Right. Now I think it's less obvious because Pusha T has grown so much in his solo career. It's less obvious that Malice is way better. Right. But on those earlier Clipse projects, it was apparent, at least to me. Very apparent.
Well, it's my first son, so you know this is new to me. But you know, man, I don't know if it changed me. I would say that my parents prepared me to be a dad, like a real dad, because I had a real dad and a real mom.
What are the conversations that you wish you had with your mom, like in those moments?
Yeah, and on that Vlad interview, Malice mentions, like, yo, we didn't have to sell drugs. Like what Pusha T just said, like, yo, we had a dad and a mom. Malice echoed that years ago on his Vlad interview. It was like, yeah, we had a dad and a mom, and like we had a great household. His dad was a deacon, like a pastor, very respected in the community. It was very much like, yo, we sold drugs because we wanted to. And I think that's, the whole environment versus nurture thing. So often when black people do bad things, like the street stuff, we so often just hand it off to like, oh, it's their environment. It's their environment. It's our environment. Like when sometimes we should take more responsibility. It wasn't necessarily the Clipse's environment that got them to sell drugs. And I love when rappers are honest about it. Because a lot of times they'll just be like, oh, I did all these bad things because of my environment. No. The Clipse, they talk about drugs all the time. And they mention like, no, we sold drugs because we wanted to. We wanted better looking clothes, better sneakers. We had great role models. We just chose not to follow them. I love the honesty because there's like a lot of apathy regarding street life that I think is harmful to the black community.
You talk about you went to Turks for Thanksgiving and stuff.
No. Like me and my mom was so straight. Like we've been like, we always were straight. And I think that the whole Turks thing, when and looking at in hindsight, she was like, damn, you gonna get out of here? Looking at it and everything, I started to feel like she knew everything.
Right.
Yeah, So it's just it tells the story, after. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole story for me, like I see it all now. Yeah. I see it all. But at the time, no, I didn't.
I think it also says a lot for being in harmony with
Pusha T sounds more current and in shape. Pusha T and Malice sound pretty dang similar to me. Sometimes on this album, I can't even tell them apart.
People.
Yeah.
You really should be, because that is what gives me a lot of peace, knowing that, I was there for my mother, great relationship with my mother and my father the whole time. So if you're out here and you have like a dysfunction or a lot of disdain between family members, you should really try to fix that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should really try to fix that if possible, because right now with my parents being gone, I get a lot of peace. Just knowing that everything was straight and always straight.
That's about the only thing.
Yeah.
How did y'all choose who was
It's a good
going to
message.
rap about who?
That was kind of easy. I mean, and even though we were, just all of us very close knit and tight knit.
Yeah, when they're going back and forth, it blurs for me. Yeah. People were in the comment section to my album review talking about Yo, if you can't tell Clipse, Pusha T from Malice when they on record, that just means you don't know hip hop. Hell no. Hell no. Like I agree. When Pusha T and Malice are rapping, like trading bars, like they give one bar, then the other gives the other bar in the same verse, it's indistinguishable. I don't care what nobody say.
You know, my dad and I, we always talked about things.
They were nurtured not to sell drugs, but their environment still reinforced what was present, leading them down that road. Anyway, I would just that's a take to have. That's a very nice way to say it. I think my stream. Let me see. Your stream has been temporarily blocked because we detected video belonging to someone else. Yeah. So I don't think we can continue watching this, which I'm fine with because it's an hour. I just got a message that says, yeah, stream unavailable. So we might have to re-up, and then I already have another video queued up that we can watch. But yeah, Breakfast Club, I get it. Their interview just dropped. They probably don't want the reactions out there just yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clip this stream right here where it's at. Then we're gonna